Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 51st episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra, and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores, and I'm playing Janina of Clan Bruja.
Hi, my name is Faye, and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Malkavian.
And as always, Partners is there acting as keeper of the Elysium in the chat and taking care of tech for us, which helps a lot because I could not handle doing it at the same time as running a game, definitely. Thank you all so much for joining us again to continue with us the story of Bea and Janina. And we will, as always, start with a quick recap of what happened previously. At the last session, we began with Bea, who went to speak to an Anarch Bruja, Zoya, trying to get Janina, first trying to get Zoya to abandon her revenge plan against Sabbath Asamite, and if not, then at least get Janina out of participating after Janina volunteered. That was done without Janina's knowledge. Zoya was fairly antagonistic at first, and did not want to hear of Bea's plans that smelled of Camarilla, expressing her anger and disdain at even being there at this hotel with all of the Camarilla kindred. But Bea managed to persuade her not to take Janina with her on the very dangerous mission she chose for herself, appealing to Zoya, saying that she can't face to lose a sister. Having accomplished that, Bea returned to the room where she reunited with Janina. But before she got there, Janina, on her way back from Zygmunt's place where she left wounded Nastia, encountered Abelard and Nosferatu, the sire of their former coterie mate Mara, and Dominic, the kidnapped lover of the sheriff. Abelard told her that he and Sheriff are going to try to free Dominic from Tzimisce's manor tomorrow, and told Janina to be prepared if she still wishes to accompany them, giving her the meeting time and place for setting out to go there. The next night, Janina spoke to Daniel, who came to check in on her after her lover Nastia was hurt. But he also learned from Janina about her plans for this evening, and was ready to go and start telling about them to the hounds or anyone who would listen and stop this. But with help of Bea, who numbed Daniel's emotions, Janina managed to persuade him not to do it. However, she also promised that she will not again volunteer for such a dangerous task. Bea, full of misgivings, tried to use her supernatural senses to learn more about this seeming opportunity to enter the mansion, and had a vision which seemed to indicate some sort of trap, definitely a foreboding one. The fact that she shared with Janina. They tried to find the sheriff to speak with him, but were intercepted by Mihail, who inquired why they were going into the area with all the Camarilla officers. And after telling him that they were looking for the sheriff, they left for the meeting place. When they met Abelard and Lucian, the sheriff, Bea shared what she has seen and her misgivings. But Lucian was determined to go, as was Abelard. The sheriff gave Bea and Janina a chance to back out, but they didn't. and they got into the car and drove to the south of Warsaw, outside the proper city buildings, to an area full of villas and woods, driving past some fields, where I think armed themselves and left the car in the woods. They made their way first to the gate of the house of a Tzimisce lady, and then through the gate and through a passage starting in a garden shed and leading to the basement. They walked through the basement where they witnessed various flesh crafting experiments and disposed used parts. The rooms that bore signs of some people, some creatures being held there, trying to get out and suffering. But they proceeded through the house. They got to the room where Oscar, an anarch Malkavian, they once tried to rescue from here. And on his seeming request, they left there. He was still there, transformed into a sculpture, a beautiful one and macabre one, much less resembling a human form than it did before. And they continued before exploring more of the house. They decided to split up. Bea and Abelard, using their gift of obfuscate, went upstairs, evading detection by some people moving around the house, and started searching through the rooms there, finding the signs of people living there. Bea also finding a room that seemingly belonged to Arek, at least for some time. Meanwhile, Janina and the sheriff stayed downstairs and started quickly moving through the corridors and rooms that seemed to be much more noisy. They didn't quite got to the source of the noise, but it all sounded like some people were having a celebration inside. At some point, Sheriff decided to run through some rooms very quickly and left Janina to watch if anyone is coming. Someone indeed was coming, and she quickly tried to hide in an adjacent room, but was spotted. She managed to dive behind an armchair and squeeze herself in there in the corner as one of the ghouls at the property entered the room and turned on the light. Meanwhile, Bea heard a voice in her head, the voice of Lady Leokadia, whose house it is, inquiring what is she doing here and asking her to come upstairs to see her. Bea started to move upstairs, but on the way, she chose to attempt to warn Abelard and send him a message in his head, and quickly realized there was a message that Lady Leokadia heard. And we will start with Janina. Janina, you are hidden, squeezed between this armchair and the wall. You see the ghoul, or the revenant, as you were told that they're called, enter the room. He looks similar to all the other ones you've seen, to the ones you fought before. Quite tall, well-built, with blonde hair, round face, features that look almost soft, deceptively soft. You know, as he starts moving around the room, having a look around, that you are hidden for now. But if you just stay where you are, as he is moving through the room and looking, he will see you.
Is there a way for me to hide somewhere else, like from him as he's like walking?
Well, it's not a huge room. You could try to sneakily move towards another room, somewhere further, deeper in the house where the sheriff went. But it is going to be risky because
Okay.
the light is on now, and he is on the lookout for somebody.
Yeah, but
I will
still...
remind you that you can spend willpower and blood if you wish.
Yes, I will spend willpower, and I will try, because if I stay where I am, he will 100% see me. So, I mean, it's better to take a chance and
You could
try
do that, or you could try to dispose of him very quickly.
I don't want to. I will first try this, and if he sees me, then I will try to. Then I will change my mind. For now, I'm trying to sneak to the other.
All right. So you're spending.
Yeah, I'm spending
willpower.
Yes.
Okay. And roll your dexterity and stealth, and you can add your celerity to this as well.
Okay. Wish me luck.
But I'm going to give you difficulty 7 because it is.
Okay, I have 4 successes.
4
7,
successes.
9, 10, 8.
Okay, let's see how he does. Okay.
I hope he will.
So you manage to, as he's looking to the other side of the room, you manage to move very quickly, very quietly, move through the door that's not far from you into another room. And he looks behind himself as if he heard something. But he starts looking around, just repeating, "Is there anyone there?" And you're hidden now behind the door to the other room, inside the other room. He sort of starts moving in that direction. You're not sure if he has exactly seen you or just heard something.
I will try to put more distance behind me and go further away. But I'm trying to do it quietly, so I didn't alert him more.
So you're moving quietly deeper into the room, staying hidden, presumably.
Yeah.
Roll again.
The same dice?
The same dice, difficulty 6.
Okay. Why did I put all the dice back? Now I have to. Now I have to do it all again. Dexterity, stealth, celerity.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Okay.
That's it.
The same difficulty?
6.
Okay, 2 successes.
2 successes. You're not sure if he has heard you. You manage to move further into the room, and you see that there is another exit from this room. The door is partially open, leading into another room, leading closer to where all the voices and music are coming from. And you're backing away, and you manage to crouch under the table and hide behind some of the seats there. You are reasonably well hidden right now, but you see in the rectangle of light coming from the other room where the light is on, as the ghoul pushes the door more open, his dark silhouette enter the room and start looking around.
Okay.
I know you're in there.
I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to just stay hidden.
As he speaks, you hear he speaks in Polish, but there is a strong accent to his words. The same sort of accent you've heard of them before. You're not quite sure. You think maybe mountains in the south, bit of Ukrainian, bit of Russian sound in there. And he moves into the room.
Okay, I'm waiting. I will. What I'm thinking now is that if he notices me and will be close enough, then I will attack him. But other than that, I'm just trying to stay as silent as I can. I mean, since I don't need to breathe, I guess it's not as
that's
as hard.
Fine. It's not that hard. So you're staying there motionless. What's running through your head as you're doing this? Are you just focused on him?
Right now, I'm trying to just not be seen because there is a part of me that doesn't want to engage in combat with him. I just thought that we could do it quietly. And at the same time, I don't want him to alert anyone else. And at the same time, there's part of me that really wants the sheriff to enter and save the day.
So you're hoping for rescue from the Camarilla sheriff. As you're hiding under the table, you see the light comes on again in this room. And he's looking around. You can see him, part of his face. There is this confused expression on his face, like he's doubting himself a little bit. But he's making another round around the room. Do you want to move again to try to evade him?
I will try to listen. Can I enhance my hearing so I could hear more from the other room that I would possibly go if there's like silence? I don't want to run into a whole crowd of people.
Yeah, you have extended hearing, and you hear that there are these voices that are somewhere nearby each, but you don't think they're in the adjacent room.
Okay, if there is a spot for me to while he's like looking on the other side, and I can sneak through the door without trying to be silent, then I will go for it.
Roll again, the same pool.
Yeah, guess who put all the dice on one side again.
Recommend not rolling once.
I'm trying. But thankfully, no once. What is the difficulty?
6.
Okay, I rolled pretty well. I have 5 successes.
5 successes. All right, then. Then he does move around the room, and you are able to. You are near this table. There's a tablecloth there. You are able to very quietly move around the table, and he's walking around the room.
Always this quiet in real life.
Always keeping cover. And then when he's looking in the other direction, you dart to the other room and hide there. Again, in the dark. You hear the man move around the room you just left. And he kind of leans into the other room, listening, you think. But then he says something to himself in a language you don't understand. And he starts walking away, and he turns off the lights.
I just sit there, stealthily sit, and try to reassess my situation and the place I'm in.
So the room you're in right now looks to be some kind of a library. There are a very small one. There aren't that many shelves there, but there's some books still left. You've seen one room like that before. You think there were several rooms used to sit, read, maybe entertain guests. But right now here, there is some furniture. It's quite fancy looking furniture. There are the shelves, some of them still with books. There is another shelf with some porcelain cups still standing there behind the glass. And after a moment, you're looking around, you see a shape emerged from almost behind one of the shelves, being hidden there and between a curtain. And you see it as Lucian.
So I sigh with relief, and I walk stealthily towards him, and I whisper to him about the man, about the ghoul that he was going here. If I don't know if he had seen him or heard him.
He says directly in your head, I heard him. I'm glad we didn't have to intervene.
It was a close call. I whisper.
He might be suspicious, but at least we remain unnoticed for now.
Have you found anything?
Not a sign of him, no. I explored this side of the house. To cross the corridor. Explore the other wing. Come on.
Can I hear still the voices and the music?
Yes, it's coming. So
okay.
So this room connects to the room you were just in and connects back to the corridor, or a different corridor. And you think the room or the area where the music is going to be somewhere a bit along the corridor, deeper in the house.
Okay, before we leave, I will probably just tell Lucian that the music, and with Dominic being a dancer, what if he's there with them? I mean, not willingly, but...
You see this concern that he thinks for a moment and then replies, we should have a look there just in case.
Yes, it's risky, but we came here to try and save him, so I guess.
We'll look before we enter the room. Only enter if we need to.
Okay. All right. I just thought that was an idea that came to my mind.
He nods, acknowledging this, and starts moving quietly, carefully, towards the door that leads to the corridor.
I will follow him.
And then glances around the corner and gets ready to move towards where the music is coming from.
I will do the same as him.
Meanwhile, okay.
No, I just want to say that I will put a bit of distance between us, so we didn't just dart beside each other.
Okay.
That's all what I wanted to say.
So you follow, keeping a bit of the distance. Meanwhile, Bea.
Yes, apologies. I just knocked water all over my desk, so my character sheet is currently drying.
Oh no. Are you okay, or do you need a bit more time?
I'm okay. I've literally just finished clearing
Okay.
up, so.
All right then. Bea, you are coming up the white marble staircase in a setting that has some familiarity to it, but you can't quite place the details. The sensations tingling on your senses, pulling on them, gets stronger. The smell of blood, the sound of crashing bones, the feeling that tells you to turn around, run away. But you go up. What's running through your head? You warned Abelard, and you know that the lady of the house noticed. But she's not speaking to you currently.
Good. I'm very concerned and just feeling the sort of tired sort of exhaustion of I didn't want to be here in the first place. I just, if there's a way to ensure that Janina can get out of this, then that's all I'm hoping for at this point.
So you're thinking about Janina and keeping her safe in this situation. And with those thoughts, you go upstairs and you enter a room to which the door are now wide open. The room is pretty empty. There's just white marble floor and a bone chandelier hanging from the ceiling, with walls draped in decorations that resemble lace, but if you look closer, reveal themselves to be bone as well, shaped so intricately and thinly to look like just lace hanging on all the walls.
It's still incredibly beautiful, even if it is disconcerting.
It is. There is no light on in the room, only some of the moonlight falling through the window illuminates your surroundings. And you see in front of you a woman you know to be Lady Leokadia, standing in front of the large window with the moonlight coming through it, her back turned to you when you enter. She's dressed in a long sleeveless dress, falling down all the way to the floor, and long opera gloves covering her hands. Her golden hair is falling freely onto her back. And she stands there for a moment, looking out the window to the moonlight and darkness outside. To her side, not quite right next to her, but more to the side of the room, there is a tall, broad-shouldered man in an embroidered tunic and a leather coat thrown over it. He has long white hair, fairly long white beard and moustache. And as you enter, you see his eyes have this unnatural reddish glow.
Okay.
Beatrice. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
What are you gonna do?
I was just going to say, if she's standing with her back to me, I will stand a polite distance away, and I won't start the conversation because I figure that it's not my place to.
So you do that, and she takes a moment, but not very long, before she speaks, calling you by your name, asking, Beatrice, why are you breaking into my home? And she turns around, and you look at her beautiful, unnaturally beautiful face that is stunning and at the same time subtly but clearly inhuman in its features.
I will start by bowing to her and apologizing and saying, my lady, I do apologize for breaking in. However, a member of the Camarilla was removed from our premises under the sorry, this is me failing with words.
No worries.
Under an attack by some of the people that answer to you, as I understand. And my eyes will briefly dart to the man nearby.
Lady Leokadia just looks to you with an impassioned face. And it is actually the man who speaks in response. But not to you, but looking to Lady Leokadia. Voivode, should I go and kill them right now? Lady Leokadia turns to him, very subtle movement of her head, and responds, only the Nosferatu for now. To which he bows his head and leaves. At which point she focuses her eyes on you.
I'm standing incredibly straight and incredibly still. I'm watching her very closely.
So you are saying this is a retaliation?
More of a recovery.
And what is it to you, Beatrice?
I think I stand there with my mouth slightly open for a moment, not quite saying it, but there's definitely still the thought that I need to keep Janina safe, which, depending on whether she's in my head or not, she might pick up on. I figured that was probably the response.
Let me roll your perception and awareness, difficulty 8.
Right, okay, excuse me, let's check the still wet character sheet. Sorry.
I believe it's 8 dice for you.
Sorry, I've already forgotten what the stats you asked me to roll were.
Perception and awareness.
Okay, yeah, that should be 8 then.
And
sorry.
What is your current willpower? Is it 1?
It's still 1.
Alright then.
That is 4 successes. 4 successes.
4 successes. You feel her look at your thoughts. Look at the thought about keeping Janina safe.
At which point I close my mouth because she already knows. And there's kind of this mental realization that she knows.
And she's still waiting for you to respond to her question.
Okay, in which case I have to keep Janina safe. I would not have chosen to come here otherwise.
That would have been a wiser choice. It would be easier for you, Beatrice, to control your bruja if you finished what you already started with her.
There's a sort of flash of confusion of my face because I don't know what she's referring to. Although I, the player, do.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't clarify.
Okay.
So you followed the desperate right into the trap.
Yes.
Because you care.
Yes.
Did you know I would be here?
I had a feeling it was a trap. I didn't know you would be here, my lady.
I suppose neither did they. But those who are so desperate are very easy to deceive. They see what they want to see. They lie to themselves. You don't even need to try.
And there's just kind of this sort of exhausted acceptance in my head of course. I'm not even that surprised. And annoyance that nobody took my warnings seriously. Somewhat directed at Janina, but mostly directed at the sheriff.
And you see Leokadia examine each of your faults.
Well,
You shouldn't blame him. He was sure to come here. Despite everything. It was you who should not have followed. And who should have kept your subordinate away.
you are correct.
She smiles very slightly at that. And what are you thinking in that moment?
I'm almost trying to not think it, but I'm not able to do that. Like it's this awareness that she's in my head and this sort of not wanting to let her see things, but I can't stop the thoughts from happening. And it's basically I'll do whatever it takes so long as Janina gets out. And sort of as the thought hits me, there's this mental frustration at myself for not being able to control my thoughts.
And you see, Lady Leokadia also see that thought clear in your mind. Both the thoughts, your desperation to keep Janina safe, and your annoyance at yourself. Meanwhile, Janina, you and Sheriff. Unaware, I'm not sure how blissfully, You are moving towards the room where the music is coming from. Sheriff is in front of you, and he's moving very quickly, very gracefully, soundlessly. You're following.
Yes, I'm also trying.
And you had all right, you had pretty good rolls. You're also graceful, stealthily, much more than you ever used to be. You feel something unnatural in how easily, how quickly, how fluidly you move. There is a point where you have to dive into a smaller room to the side, a storage unit, and then let some people pass. But then you come out and continue towards the room. The sheriff gets to the door and looks inside. Are you looking as well?
I will, if I can, just look behind him and then yes.
Yes, you can. You can sort of to the other side of the door and also have a look. And you see inside the room, there are several people there. You can't quite count them. They're moving around. Few are sitting at the table laughing. The air here smells of alcohol. There is someone playing music, playing an instrument that is resembling violin and sounding somewhat similar, but it is a bit more elongated shape of an instrument. There is laughter and people speaking in this language you don't understand. And you see on the table, there is a woman with partially torn off clothing lying on the table, pinned to it by the knives that are stuck into her hands, holding her on the table in place. And she's crying, not screaming, just crying, lying there with not much energy, tears dripping down her face. But you don't see the meaning there. Just ghouls, very similar to one another, uncommonly so.
In that case, I've seen enough. If I just scanned the room and didn't see anyone resembling Dominic or his human form, then I will just stop looking because I don't want to see it.
How do you feel seeing that woman there?
Bad that we can't help her.
Are you angry?
I think not even angry. I guess it's more just sadness and desperation, hopelessness that there is nothing we can do.
So you move from the doorway along the wall with this sadness and desperation. Sheriff is moving behind you, shaking his head, indicating he hasn't seen Dominic in there either.
I will not.
And he turns with the turning of the corridor and starts leading you deeper into the house.
I just follow him wherever he goes. I don't want to separate again.
And you're moving across the house. Sheriff is very quick when moving in the corridor and then disappearing into doorways, taking not even a moment, just listening as he moves. And you can do the same with your heightened senses, listening for places that would be safe to hide in as someone might be coming along the corridor. And you're exploring more of the mansion in this way. You find more empty rooms. You find a room that bears the signs of someone living there. There's dirty shoes thrown somewhere on the floor. There is a dirty, muddied coat lying on the bed. You pass another room, which is bigger, where on an armchair thrown one over the other, you see two dead, naked, mutilated bodies bearing signs of various abuse, lying there motionless and dead in this armchair right now. It's a man and a woman. And then you leave that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
It was just a sigh.
Just a sigh. There's more of this hopelessness.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable in this place. Not even without like fearing for my own safety, but the energy, the vibe check is off.
Yeah. And then you pass a few other rooms where someone lives. You find one more mutilated body, this time to the side of the bed, fallen between the bed and the wall partially. And another room where you don't find a body, but you find a saw that is covered in blood, partially bent, as if used quite a lot to cut something hard. And then you're moving along the corridor again. And you're moving away from the sounds of music and celebration. Roll your wits and alertness. Difficulty will be 5 because you're using your heightened senses.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have all successes on my six dice. All successes. So 6 successes. 6 successes.
All right, 6 successes. Okay, so you realize as you're moving along the corridor, you just left one room. You kind of are halfway between the room and the next door. You hear there's someone in the next sort of room to the left of you. And they're about to open the door. You have split seconds before they do and come out into the corridor.
Okay, can I hide behind another door, like room? Is there?
You can try to dash back towards where you came from, where the saw covered in blood was, or you can run forward.
I will go to the saw. At least I could use it as a weapon if it came to it.
You have a weapon. I think you have.
Yeah, I have. But
you have an axe that you got from
Saw is good. Okay, I will try to dart back to the room with the saw.
Roll your celerity, dex, and stealth.
Okay.
Difficulty 7 if you want to do it quickly enough.
Okay.
You can spend willpower or you can spend blood to increase your dexterity.
I will spend blood for this time.
Then take one more die.
Okay.
And that will stay for a while, the increased dexterity.
Okay. What was the difficulty, sorry?
Difficulty was 7.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3 successes. David has 6. But he goes for the other room. You split for a moment. No. Because you don't really have a time to consult, and he goes kind of to the front and darts into another room, while the person who comes out. How many successes did you have?
I think 3. I think I had 3.
Have 3. So you see someone stumble, or you hear someone stumble out, and it's a bit drunken step. But as you're disappearing in the room, you hear that, hey, you, shouted towards you.
Okay, I will go towards the saw, I guess.
So you grab it. You grab the bloodied.
Janina, Texas Warsaw Chainsaw Massacre is about to happen.
Speaking of that, as you grab it, you do see pieces of bone attached still to it.
Oh, okay, fine. I can deal with it. I will still try to hide somewhere in the room with the saw?
Absolutely. And the door opens. And you see another man, this one slightly shorter than some of the others, but broader in shoulders, more like massively built, very muscular. Enter, and he's holding a bottle of vodka in his left hand and is reaching somewhere in his pocket. And he's saying something in a language you don't understand into the room, and then reaching for the light switch.
Okay. Where I'm hidden?
You can hide under the bed.
Yeah. Oh.
I guess is the best. Or you can crouch like between the sort of chest of drawers and in a corner between that and the windowsill. That's your choice where you prefer to be.
Somewhere
you're better hidden under the bed, but it's more difficult to do something if you're discovered there.
Yeah, I think I will hide somewhere so I could better attack someone.
Okay, so you hide there, and he turns on the light. And let's see how well you're hidden. Roll the same roll again.
Okay. Does my extra dice?
Sorry?
If my does the extra dice for dexterity?
Yes, you still have your you still have your increased dex.
Okay.
He has higher difficulty because he's a bit drunk.
Okay. What was the difficulty? 6?
6 for you.
I have 2 successes. 6 and
even on higher difficulty. You're hidden and you're getting ready to be able to jump. And he sees you. He just kind of walks through the room. And as you're thinking, like, when should I jump him? Is he gonna go away? Your eyes meet with his eyes. And he's gonna toss. Well, he actually...
Is he gonna toss vodka after me?
I think he might, actually, as a first sort of instinct. He's tossing the bottle at you. And let's see how well that does. This is going to do really damage as such. But you are going to be covered with vodka.
Yeah, I'm going to smell really bad.
It's the emotional damage.
It's the emotional damage. Are you trying to avoid this in any way? Or do you...
I will probably put the saw in front of me to shatter the glass, but I'm not really... It's more like instinct than more like trying to...
All right, well, it shatters somewhere between the saw and on you, and you're covered in glass. It doesn't hurt you, but you're covered in vodka.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna
attack him. And now you're gonna roll initiative.
No. What is...
It's wits and alertness. Difficulty 6, and if you have any 10s, you have a specialty that counts for that.
Okay, does my penalty count? I guess yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't have 10. I have... what do I... I have 8, 7, 3.
Difficulty 6. So just how many do you have?
Sorry, I'm just... 3 successes.
You're going first. So what are you doing?
Well, after I'm covered with glass, I'm gonna just try to get him with the saw. I'm aiming for his chest and neck. Okay.
Roll your melee and dex that is increased.
Okay, can I...
And you can add your celerity to it. Actually, because it is the round of combat, it's the first round. Do you wish to spend blood on anything? You can spend it on celerity for extra actions. You can spend it to increase one of your physical stats. Or you can heal.
I will. No, I'm not going to heal. Nobody has time for healing. I'm going to spend the blood for the celerity.
1 or 2 actions? do you want to have?
One.
Extra? One.
Okay. One is enough. For good, one is enough.
All right then. Well,
I'm rolling.
Attack him.
I'm loving the optimism. Because I remember the last Revenant we fought.
What is the difficulty?
6.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 2 7s, 8, and 6.
Successes. Right. You know what I'm actually gonna do? Give me a second. I am gonna split his dice pool on this. And he's gonna try to avoid you and then attack you. So you hit him still. Take your strength.
Okay.
And 2 extra die. And I think 3 for the soul, because it's quite a nasty weapon.
Okay. Yeah.
And before you do that,
years.
you can spend a blood point for all your potent dice to become automatic.
Let's do it.
Successes.
I'm gonna maybe feed on someone here, so let's just be practical.
So distract those dice from your 4 dice from whatever you're rolling, and roll the rest.
I have 10, 6, 6, and 5.
Difficulty is 6, so you have 3 plus 4 from your potents. Yes. Nice.
Leatherface Janina.
So okay then. So you go for him and just go in with the saw on his chest and the neck, starting to just slash and cut, and blood is gushing out. Some of it falling on your face, some of it falling on your clothing, but you don't care. You keep slashing,
and
he coughs on his blood a little bit, and it's clearly quite damaged. But he's going to attempt to stab you. Now the question is, do you want to take this hit to be able to then have another attack from your celerity, or do you want to defend?
Let me think. I will probably take it because I want to just attack him. I want to finish him.
Right. So he attacks you with a bayonet. And believe it or not, but he misses.
He's drunk. I'm not as.
He's kind of drunk. So he tries to stab you, and his hand just loses the grip, and he can't quite. You manage to push his hand away quite easily.
Yay.
Now is your another attack.
Okay, I will try to decapitate him, I guess.
Roll your... I think now you're going for brute strength.
Yeah.
So roll your strength, your melee. And you can add your potence, or you can spend the blood points to have automatic successes from potence.
Let's spend. I'm just trying to stay alive. Who cares? I'm gonna frenzy.
That's the spirit.
Okay, so sorry, can you please repeat what I have to
strength
roll?
And melee.
Okay.
And you spend a blood point for potence, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have 4 successes already.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm just keep forgetting things. Melee and
strength.
Strength. Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
Honestly, that's a mood.
I have 1 success plus the 4.
Plus the 4, so you have 5. So take 4 of these dice.
Okay.
Add your strength.
Okay.
Add 3.
Mm.
And add your potence, or spend the blood points to have automatic successes from potence.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
spend
That's fair.
this time. Okay, so I'm rolling all the dice that I have. But it couldn't.
Difficulty 6.
Good. Okay, so I have 2 successes. On this many dice, it could be much better.
On this many dice, you have 2 successes. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then actually, you go in with all your strength. You pin him down, and you're moving in with a saw, but you don't seem to. It seems like everything went into pinning him down, and you're holding him down. But you don't quite damage him as much. He is definitely like bleeding and severely injured, but he's not quite dead. You don't quite manage to decapitate him. At this moment, you see that Lucian has entered the room, and he just goes through the door and shuts it behind him.
Okay. Then
What are you doing? It's your go again. Do you wish to spend blood on something this turn?
I will probably not spend blood because I know that Lucian's here, and I'm.
That's fair. Are you continuing with the song?
Yes, I will try to finish what I started.
Strength, potence, melee.
Okay, strength, potence.
Difficulty 6.
Okay. 2 successes again.
Pick 1 die.
Okay.
Add your strength, your potence, and 3 dice for the saw.
Okay. And I have to re-roll 1 because I don't have enough dice.
That's fine.
What one? 6, you said. Okay, so
6.
I have again, I guess 2 successes. That's what I have. I don't know.
Somehow you don't quite seem to manage to do this. You don't seem to be doing any damage, and he seems to be healing himself a little bit, you see. And he's gonna try to stab you again.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes. He has penalties, so there's that.
Me and him both.
Yeah, joy.
But at least I'm not drunk.
Yeah. So this time,
like I am.
maybe because of desperation that he's so close to dying, he does manage to hit you.
Oh no.
And stabs you in the side. And roll your stamina, please.
Okay. Does my specialty tough as nails come in play?
Yes, if you roll 10s, they will count as double.
Okay. But I don't have 10s. Instead, I have no success. I had 1 success and 1, so no success.
1 success. Then you will take 4 damage.
Oh no. Not good for me.
As he stabs you with a great strength, greater than the strength of a normal human.
At which point, at -5 again.
At which point the sheriff moves forward and cuts his throat, and some more blood gushes towards you.
Couldn't he do it a moment earlier?
No, he didn't roll very well for initiative. Somehow. So the ghoul underneath you is dead.
Okay.
Lucian looks to you and says, there was a little bit of noise. Likely he was too out of it to scream.
Yeah, I tried to hide, but he saw me.
That's all right. We should get moving.
Yes, and I will put
Come on.
The saw down.
And you move towards the other room.
Yeah.
And you hear from behind you, there are a few people who are sort of looking to be like maybe not anxious as such, but something has agitated them a little bit, and they're kind of looking, opening different doors, and you're moving forward. And around that time, you hear from upstairs a short scream of pain and some sort of struggle, someone's dropping, and another short scream of pain.
Is it female's voice or male's voice?
Appears to be male's voice.
Okay. I exchange glances with Lucian if he looks at me.
He looks to you. You're hidden now in another room. And he says, we should investigate.
As you say.
We're almost done with this floor anyway. I don't think he's anywhere here.
Okay. And I will try to. So wasn't dripping as much blood. I guess the wound that he gave me, then I will try to cover it. Because I'm at -5 again.
So you're really struggling to walk.
Yeah. But it's fine. I'm trying.
You can walk. It's just painful. You feel this wound getting in your way quite severely. He looks to you. Are you okay to proceed?
Yes, I will. I will be fine. If I find someone.
Can you heal?
Well, I don't have. I feel quite hungry, so I don't want to waste my blood on healing. So, but if I find a way to feed, I will heal.
He just nods his head, calculating for a moment, and then gestures for you to follow.
And I'm going behind him, less gracefully, but I'm pushing through the pain.
And you're pushing through the pain, moving up the staircase. You're waiting near the exit from the corridor to run up the staircase when you don't hear anyone there. And you hear footsteps that appear to be going upstairs. And then Sheriff looks to you and says, now as quickly as you can.
Okay.
And he starts going.
I'm trying as quickly as I can. I guess I'm less graceful, but I'm trying.
You're struggling. Roll your dex and athletics. You can add your celerity, but you are on -5 penalty.
Can you also spend willpower to ignore penalties?
You can spend, that's true. I always forget about that.
Okay.
But you can also spend a point of willpower to ignore wound penalties.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, in that case, athletics.
Athletics, dex, and your celerity you can add to this as well.
In that case, 2 10s and 7 and 1, so 2 successes.
2 successes. So you're not quite as graceful, but you follow, and you are not seen as you head upstairs. And when you are upstairs, you dive into another room that looks to be just a room where somebody lives. You see some clothes thrown around. It's quite messy, but not messy with blood. And few people pass the corridor and head downstairs. Quite quick, heavy steps. And then you move along the corridor. You don't see anyone standing anywhere in there. But as you're moving along the corridor leading further away from the staircase on the first floor and deeper into the house, you begin to see something lying on the floor.
Is it blood? Is it bones?
Well, it's a little bit further away.
Okay.
It's definitely a smell of Vita there.
Okay.
The vampiric Vita.
Right. I look at it and I just.
It's still further away from it, but
I'm looking at it from just hoping it wasn't Bea.
So you're hoping it wasn't Bea. And you're moving with Sheriff. He's now moving very quickly. Was jumping, almost gliding through the corridor just to get to this place. And you're following, not quite as gracefully and skillfully, but still staying hidden, staying quiet. And you see blood splattered on the corridor floor and the carpets. And the blood is mixed with ash, staining together the carpet, the floor, and the clothes that you saw Abelard wear tonight.
Oh no. Well, at least it's not Bea. But I look at Lucian.
Lucian is just looking at it, and then he moves to very sort of listening to what's happening around. What are you feeling? Relief it's not Bea, anything else?
Well, I feel sadness for Abelard. I didn't knew him very well, and at first when I met him, I didn't like him because of Mara. But he seemed, after I get to know him, he seemed like a decent person, that he cared for his child. He ventured on this mission, so I feel sadness. But I think I still want to save Dominic, so his death wasn't in vain. And I'm now scared for Bea more than before.
Speaking of Bea. Bea.
I was hoping you'd forgotten about me.
No, you are not forgotten.
You are. Forget. Anyway.
Yes. You feel Leokadia in your thoughts, observing them. Not necessarily hiding it very much.
Why should she?
No, exactly. Seeing your care for Janina and your anger at yourself for not being able to control and hide what you're thinking. And the door opens. And the man who was in the room before, accompanying the lady, returns. You see now long, sharp claws extending from one of his hands, covered in blood that you can smell. You see some blood splattered on his coat and on his embroidered tunic, the red of blood, mixing with the pattern of embroidery that's also red. And he says, "It is done, voivode." As could be expected, the Nosferatu was going for his child, ignoring the others. To which Leokadia just nods her head, and he takes place standing exactly where he stood before. And she turns to you again. I see you. Ask your question that you want to ask.
Sorry. And I look at her.
What are you thinking about?
Hmm?
What are you thinking about? There must be something you want to ask me.
Was your reasoning for taking the Nosferatu to draw the sheriff out?
She smiles. That's not what you really care about, is it?
What do I have to do to keep my sister safe?
She gives you a slight smile. I am prepared to consider letting you go. The question, of course, is, what are you prepared to offer me in return?
What would you consider as a suitable level of offering?
Think, Beatrice.
My brain is drawing a blank right now.
That is fair.
Could I roll to see if I can make an assumption?
You could do, although I think it is also fair to say that Bea would not have any idea. It's up to you.
Okay.
It depends how you feel with her memory and how much she remembers.
Mm. Yeah, and I don't really want to spend that last willpower right now. Okay. I'm going to go with I don't know enough about her and her wants to really make an educated guess. So there's this sort of background stress of I don't know really who it is I'm dealing with outside of dangerous. So I'm taking a moment and I'm thinking hard. But I don't even know what I can offer her.
And she waits for a moment patiently, clearly not being in any hurry. But it is the man in the room who loses patience and speaks, with a bit of impatience as he looks to you on his face and in his voice, although his voice is very respectful. Voivode, just ask her to give us back the youngling. To which you see in your mind an image of a young man with brown hair wearing a cap. You see his face. You get a glimpse of him looking up respectfully with a wonder in his eyes. You get a glimpse of him in the room you've seen not long ago, looking at the drawings of the animals on the walls with curiosity in his eyes.
As I see him, there's this grief and anger in my chest for the boy who was once my friend.
With your earlier role, you would feel that this thought came from Leokadia. It's unmistakable.
Right. My eyes have briefly traveled to the man who spoke, and I think as he makes that suggestion to her, I mentally go that I'm not sure that I would be able to do that. But, and there's just this, again, these are not like controlled thoughts. I'm not trying to direct them. There's this wondering if I could offer that I would stay if Janina could leave, but I don't know if that would even, they already have me. It's not really a trade. And then there's this massive confliction within me. As this part of me that it's my nature demands that I don't let that happen. But also my desperation to keep Janina safe are kind of pulling in two opposite directions here. And then there's this vague recollection that there's a memory in relation to Arik and something to do with the Sabbat, but I don't, given that people are currently in my head, I'm not sure whether I should access it or not. So I think I'm standing there frozen. And I'm also kind of waiting to see what Lady Leokadia says in response to him.
She just nods to him and then looks to you.
Okay.
And you see another memory of him in the woods, looking at the trees, looking to be listening.
And there's that guilt in my chest again that I can't quite place where it comes from, but it's in relation to him. I think I'm going to roll a dice to make a decision as to what I decide, because off the top of my head.
Are you sure? Because think about what Bea. I mean, you can roll the die if that's what you want to do.
It's more that just save me from sitting here and considering my options for half an hour. Because I don't think that would be interesting to watch.
All right.
But because there's very much my nature of soldier does not think it's acceptable for a mission that was not in relation to the Camarilla to offer something that is specifically Camarilla related as a trade.
That's true.
But also Janina.
What do you think is stronger in Bea? If she was to abandon one over the other?
You know, that answer would have been a lot clearer a few weeks ago, but I'm actually less sure now. I think it might be Janina is stronger. Because of the frustration I've been getting with the internal Sabbat bullshittery. sorry, not Sabat, Camarilla bullshittery. Also Sabat bullshittery, but it's a separate thing.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. But I think there's this.
Another question.
Yeah.
I'm sort of just asking to help you make a decision.
That's fair. It's a hard
Do
choice.
Bea's feelings about Arek factor into it at all?
I think a little bit. But the other thing that I think is factoring into it is the face of the Ventru Primogen and the blood bond that's there.
There is a blood bond there.
There is a blood bond there.
One step, but it's there.
And also Felicia, although I don't think Felicia is quite as bothered about the Camarilla, but she taught me to do things for them. And this would kind of be going against her teachings. So I think that is also a factor.
Absolutely.
And there was something else. And I think also the face of Antoni comes to mind as well when I'm thinking about the Camarilla.
It might do.
And then also the vague concept of Edwin Sarnowski, which I don't think I remember what his face looks like, but I do remember the fear that I had in relation to him.
There is a longer moment of silence.
I think there's this clearly building sort of stress and frustration, especially to Lady Leokadia, who's literally in my head.
Beatrice.
I look to her.
What is your answer?
I'll do it.
She knows her head.
And
out of character, are you happy with your dice roll?
I mean, I think it's spicy.
Okay. That's fine then. In which case,
as I say it, there's this strong feeling of self-loathing. But I think there would have been a strong feeling of self-loathing either way.
Lady Leokadia nods her head. Then, as a gesture of goodwill and trust, I will let you and your companions leave. Can you be trusted to keep your word?
I think I say yes, but it's this sort of, I think I say yes kind of as this reactive response, and then I think about it afterwards. Because it's kind of the default reaction of course I can be trusted, but then there's that self-doubt. And I think there's also a fear of my memory becoming a problem.
And as that thought appears in your head, she says, and do you have a way to remember that you're making a promise?
No. No, I
Come
don't.
here.
I will.
She takes off a glove from one of her hands, revealing sharp pointed ends to her fingers, carved in bone, elaborate designs.
There's this feeling of fear in my chest, but I will walk towards her. Maybe.
And you come up to her, at which point she grabs you by your neck. And even if you try to move away and shiver, you can't. She rips part of your blouse open and moves to right in her claw, drawing blood over in your chest, over your heart. Just a promise. You will take 1 damage from it.
That's fair.
And it
Lethal bashing.
hurts.
Lethal?
Lethal, yeah. Just out of curiosity, roll your self-control.
Sure.
I would say difficulty 8.
That's fair. Okay, that didn't go so well. 1 success, no 1, so no successes.
No successes, so you are trembling. There is clear desire to move away from her touch, move away from the pain, but she holds you in place and carves this careful, elegant writing, stretching over your heart, after which she lets you go.
I think I'm visibly shaking as I step away, but not so much because of the pain, just because of being held in place and the physical touch more than the pain. The pain is almost less upsetting to me. And then I will try and maintain even a remote level of composure and bow to her.
Your self-control and etiquette. Difficulty 7.
Yep. Well, I can't roll I couldn't roll self-control, but I sure can roll etiquette, I guess. So that's 3 successes.
So you compose yourself and make a very proper bow. And how are you feeling?
I hate myself. But I need to keep Janina safe.
And I think with that, we will take a short break. Thank you very much to everyone who's been watching. We hope you will stay with us for more of the same, that sort of stuff. And we will be back in about 15 minutes and hope you will be with us to see what's next for Bea and Janina. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us, and let's continue with the story of Janina and Bea. Janina. You see Sheriff looking around, listening, and you made effort to get yourself, despite your wounds, quickly here to move stealthily, but you feel this energy, this focus that you mastered to push through, leaving you now, and you feel more tired and you feel pain again. And you can't help just leaning against the wall a little bit. You know you're in a pretty bad shape.
Yeah. I'm following the sheriff.
Sheriff looks to you. Janina, you need to heal.
But I'm very hungry. I don't want to risk frenzy.
He thinks like a moment and then bites into his wrist.
Oh no.
And extends it to you.
To the sheriff.
I'm just getting bonbons everywhere.
Get some.
Then I'm not questioning it. I'm just taking it. I don't care. I just want to make it out. And just...
How much blood do you have right now?
3.
You will be rolling self-control
with
3 dice only. Difficulty
Oh.
8. Do you wish to spend willpower?
Yeah, I will spend willpower. I don't want to
Please
frenzy
don't
on
keep
the
the
ship.
sheriff.
Yeah. But I rolled well. 10. I have 10 plus 9.
Okay, so we have 2 successes. So you taste this Vita, and it's exhilarating. It's so much better than when you normally feed. It tastes nourishing and delicious and fresh and powerful. And you're drinking. And you are in control.
Okay.
He will give you 2 blood points.
That's enough. Yeah, I will take the 2. At least I'm back on 5.
And you can write that you have a blood bond.
Yeah, I already did. I have so
First step.
so many first step blood bonds.
Well, time to change them into second steps soon.
Yeah. Does my 1 point blood bond with Arek still stands?
Yes.
Since it has been a long time. Okay. I have Arek, Lucian, Bea, and I'm not sure, maybe it's
Florian.
yeah, Florian.
Well.
Yeah, it's so like faded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that's just 4. That's nothing.
Is there a limit?
No, there is not.
Okay.
How? You'll just emotionally pulled in lots of different directions.
Very helpful.
Yes. And he takes back his rest.
I just
feeling better.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
Janina, roll your perception and alertness. With difficulty 5.
I have 3 successes.
Did you take into consideration your penalties?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So you
no, wait. I forgot that I'm minus penalty.
Do you wish to heal 1 step?
Yeah, I will. I will heal. Sorry, I just completely forgot about my minus 5. I just counted my usual penalty. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your usual penalty anymore.
Okay, how much it costs to heal?
1 blood point.
Okay.
This is
at least I'm at
minus
-5. Yeah. Okay, it's fine.
Then you're not at -5 anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Then roll again your perception and alertness. Difficulty 5.
1 success.
So you hear the voice from behind the door you're standing in front of. Behind the door in front of which there is blood and ashes of Abelars. And the voice just says, Lucian?
Oh, in that moment, I guess I'm looking at Lucian. And
Lucian looks to the door. And he starts pulling at it.
I will help him.
And gesturing to you.
Yes, I will.
To just kind of push it.
Yeah.
And roll your strength and potence and brawl, I suppose.
Okay. Just give me a moment to find everything.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a moment to beat the door up.
Yeah. Difficulty is 6.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Yeah, no problem at all. Between you and Lucian, you manage to just break the door open. It makes a noise, but you open it. As you're opening it, you do hear the voice you just heard say, Lucian, no. And then you see on the other side of the door, as it's just been broken open, a tall, lean, handsome man standing in the room. The room has no windows, but it looks similar to, it's smaller than some of the rooms you've seen, but it looks to have similar array of furniture. There's a bed there, there's a chest of drawers. There are a few pictures, some landscapes, decorating the walls. And he's standing there, and his face is pale but unmistakably human. He has brown hair and a face similar to the one that Dominic wore in the Elysium. At few occasions you've seen him there, but it's more striking. His features are much more defined, more memorable, and more beautiful. And Lucian just pauses in a doorway and stares at him, saying, "My beloved."
Does he resemble the other ghouls? Like,
no.
Okay.
He resembles the face Dominic wears in the Elysium, just more defined, more handsome, stronger features.
Okay. I will let Lucian to, I don't know, kiss, and I don't know what he's.
He just stands there for a moment, and man in front of you says, "You should not have come. This is too dangerous." And he's looking scared, at which Lucian just takes his arm, says, "We're taking you away from here. Come with me right now."
I will help him.
At this point, he notices you, because he was staring straight at Lucian all the way. Janina.
Dominic, we're taking you home. Let's go.
And he follows you as you're pulling him away. Come on, we need to move quickly, says Sheriff. And he's heading along the corridor towards the staircase down.
Yes, and I guess I'm just following the sheriff, trying to help him hold Dominic. And
well, Dominic is following.
Okay.
He's not like resisting.
Okay. In that case,
he just appears surprised and scared.
I will let him go in front of me because I want to go behind, because I want to make sure that he's following.
He looks like he wants to ask a question, but he thinks better of it and keeps quiet and is following Lucian. And Lucian is heading downstairs towards the stairwell.
Yes.
Are you following?
Yes, I'm following. Now I just wish Bea was with us so we could just leave.
Exactly. As he's heading downstairs, what are you thinking in relation to Bea?
I want to get out, but I want to find Bea, and I don't want to. I guess I wish I could, like, be with her or send her a message, because I don't know what to do. I think as we are going like towards the place where we like separated, there's a hope in me that she's gonna be waiting there.
Okay.
To be fair, we did agree to meet back there.
Yes, you did agree to meet back there, yeah. So you are heading there down the stairwell. And you hear more of the voices downstairs kind of moving around, some speaking more angrily, some two people maybe having an argument. But Lucian is just rushing down the stairs towards the room where Oscar was, where you separated.
Yes, I'm following them.
And you're in that room.
Yes. I'm looking for Bea.
In the darkness.
Yes.
You have a flashlight if you want to turn it on.
I think once we are alone, I just maybe like whisper, like calling for Bea, like whispering, because if she's hiding there.
There is no answer.
Okay. Okay. In that case, I look at Lucian and Dominic.
Lucian is moving towards the entrance to the basement with Dominic.
Okay. So I'm just, you go. I'm gonna wait for Belle.
He stops for a moment. Miss Shivak, we need to get out of here. For all we know, she's dead.
No, I'm not leaving without her or confirmation. You go. You have Dominic. Just go. I'll be back. I'm
You
gonna
will
give.
not be back if you go back out there.
I'm not gonna go out there.
They
I'm gonna
must have
stay
found the
here.
body by now.
Well, I'm gonna wait here. You go. Take Dominic out, please.
Dominic kind of looks to you. Janina, I'm not sure what you and Bea are doing here, but you should not be. And he kind of hesitates and looks to Lucian, why have you come here? The sheriff puts a hand around Dominic's arms. I'd come anywhere for you. And then he looks to you. It is not. I will not force you to come.
I know.
But we
That was my
should
sister.
really go.
You can go. Give me 15 minutes. I will. If I'm not out in 15 minutes, then just go without me.
Full persuasion and charisma. Difficulty 8.
Okay.
Do you wish to spend willpower?
No, but I should have. Because it's a bot.
It's a bot.
Yeah, I have 9 and 2 ones.
Have 9 and 2 ones. At which point, Lucian says, looks to you in this very pale light, and says, come. How much willpower do you have?
4.
4.
I don't like people fucking with my mind.
He actually
dominate usage.
Oh no, you have 4. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's not as bad a roll as I thought then. Sorry, normally it would have been. So, he has 4 successes. You can spend 4 willpower points to resist.
I will do that because Bea, I can't live without Bea. She came here because of me. I can't leave her behind. Okay.
Do you respond?
I'm not going. Please don't use this on me.
Will perception and empathy. Difficulty 7.
Okay. No successes.
No successes. You don't really see much on his face in the faint light. As he just says, I hope to see you again, Miss Shivak.
I hope so too.
Let's go. And Dominic just turns to you, Janina, please
Just
come.
go. No, go, Dominic. We came to save you.
And then Lucian pulls him, and they're gone towards the basement.
Okay, then I'm waiting and hoping for Belle to come. I guess I'm pacing the room, and like I will probably pull the knife that I have on me, just in case someone. So I could like attack someone if someone comes, but I'm trying to pacing and waiting, and I'm trying to really hope that Bea's alive, because if I had seen like her being dead, but there was no sign of her being dead, so I'm not giving up on her.
And you're pacing the room, and you know you have a bit of light, and you again see what became of Oscar.
I think for a moment, like
sculpture.
I completely forgot about him, and then once I my
right
eyes
there.
I thought I think he became like an environment to me, and once I like stopped and I realized in my head that it's him, then I will probably like go to him and just look at him and whisper, "I hope you're happy."
You see his face is motionless. The lace made out of his pale skin stretch over his eyes and mouth, maybe keeping it in place, maybe just adorning what is kept in place by the muscles. His eyes are closed, and he doesn't respond in any way.
Oh, I didn't expect him to. And I just wait next to him nervously and just saying to myself, Bea, please come back.
Meanwhile, there, you take your bow. Lady Leokadia, as you step a little bit away, says, before you go, how is your memory lately? What things do you find yourself clinging to?
Duty, responsibility.
She smiles very slightly. Do you remember your last visit here?
No.
What you asked me?
No.
She smiles a bit more. Beatrice, you asked me to free you from the bonds that tie you to your sire. Do you still desire it?
And I think there's genuine surprise when she says that, because I feel like I've changed. Well, from an external point of view, I think Bea has changed enough between these two visits that, I mean, she's not quite a different person, but it's definitely a different reaction. And I think recently she's been clinging to Felicia more and scared of losing her. But there's also that sort of underlining fear of Felicia. So I think there's a mixture of confusion of, there's a part of her that wants to be free so that she doesn't have to be afraid, and then there's another part of her that still clings to her and I don't know how to respond, because I think I say no automatically just because of the blood bond and because I'm so exhausted, but internally I'm not sure that that's entirely true.
And you feel a presence observing those thoughts and doubts. Leokadia says, I see it pull it at you right now, enslaving your thoughts.
Yes. Then I just kind of look at her, not entirely sure whether there's anything more to be said.
Do you wish for freedom?
Can I roll to resist the blood bond?
Yes.
With my single dice.
You can indeed.
Not on a 4, I can't.
No.
So I think again, I say no, but I think I'm physically shaking at this point. And the sort of stress inside of me is building and as is the frustration.
She comes up closer, looking at the stress and frustration. It is difficult to ask, and I will require an expression of gratitude. In return, nothing specific, just a promise that I will have your loyalty when I need it.
I think at this point I'm just feeling so overwhelmed, and there's also that sort of self-loathing inside of me, and this feeling like I'm betraying the Camarilla, and there's kind of just this looping thought of traitor, and thoughts of Arek, and the anger that I held towards him for him betraying me. And I don't think that I'm mentally in a place to even consider further betrayal at this point.
And you see Leokadia's eyes look right through your face, right into your thoughts. And she steps away. You know where to find me if you're ready again.
Yes, my lady.
Now go before your sister loses patience and does something even more careless.
And with another bow, I walk out of the room, and I'm physically shaking. And I think once I'm outside of the physical view of anyone, I think it just gets worse and worse. But I activate obfuscate once I'm out of sight.
Where are you heading?
I guess back downstairs. I know that Abelard's dead, and there's a part of me that's wondering whether he would have survived had I not warned him. And this grief at myself, this grief and frustration with myself, that maybe if I hadn't reacted so impulsively, he might still be alive. How much time has passed since we agreed we'd... Am I close to the meetup time back at the...
It would have been past meetup time a little bit.
Okay, in which case I'm heading back to the agreed upon room, and if they're not there, then I'm going to assume that they've headed outside, because that's what we agreed upon.
So you head to the room. Janina, the door to the room opens.
Okay, I think...
And that would break your obfuscate.
Yeah.
So you see the shape of Bea appear in the doorway.
In that case, I relax my shoulders and I put away the knife. And I just run towards her and I want to hug her, but then I realize it's Bea and she doesn't like hugging most of the time.
You hear
So
footsteps running towards you, Bea, and you smell blood and some alcoholic smell.
I look up. I think there's this immediate like physical tension.
It's me. Let's leave. We have Dominic. He's outside with Lucian. Abelard's dead. I explain later. And I just go
nod
towards the basement.
I just nod and follow her. I don't think I feel physically capable of speaking at this point.
And you go back.
Yeah.
Towards the basement.
Whilst we're still in a dark room, I'm sort of tugging at my blouse to try and cover over the bloody wound, maybe pulling my coat tighter.
You can pull your coat to kind of close it up so that it doesn't show that there's blood on your blouse. And you're moving.
I'm not speaking. I'm just waiting for us to be safe.
And you descend once again into the basement. You have some source of light. In the basement, you smell the same smell of rotting flesh, living flesh, blood. And you again hear this groan of pain and hard breathing.
Okay, I will quickly go towards the room with the creature and slice it.
Bea, you see, as you're passing the room with the creature, Janina is trying to turn to the side.
I don't think I can physically touch her, but I will sort of harshly whisper, Janina, we need to go.
I will be quick.
Please, Janina.
I'm trying to be I really want to, but okay, I will leave. I will leave and go with Bea. We lost Abelard and I don't want to stress anyone more, so I'll leave the creature. Even though I really wanted to put it out of its misery, but that's more important to me. So.
But you leave it behind and walk away.
Yes.
And as you walk away, it's groans of pain slowly fade. And the smell of rotting flesh intensifies.
Yeah, I'm just ready to leave this place behind.
And then you get to the trapdoor. Well, the door that leads to the passage that leads to the trapdoor. And go through the passage among the hanging roots. Bea, what's in your mind right now as you're on your way out in this passage again?
I think I'm mostly dissociating. Just as the absolute sort of terror of being in the room, being presented with so many options of treachery, and shaking after knowing that Abelard was killed. And so I think I'm just kind of consumed by this grief and anger and self-loathing and exhaustion. I feel like the moment that I have space, I'm just gonna like break down, but I can't yet.
Janina, what's running through your head as you're heading back through this passage towards the trapdoor?
Well, at this moment, I'm happy that Bea is alive, and I want us to get out, and I'm glad that we saved Dominic. That's probably all that it's in my head. I know that we lost Abelard, and I'm gonna be grieving later, but for right now, I'm trying to concentrate on having Bea and being about to leave this place because I have had enough.
And you get to the trapdoor. Do you help Bea up to climb up?
If she lets me, then yes.
I don't.
In that case, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I will do it myself.
Strength and athletics.
Oh no.
Difficulty 8.
I might spend a point of blood to boost my strength.
That's fair.
Because I've got more of that than I do anything else.
You can spend more if you want because you're not like running.
I mean, I'm only at 6 blood right now. I don't really want to spend it.
I'm just tempting.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job. Strength, athletics, and I've got an extra dot of strength right now. Oh my god, I'm above average strength for once. Okay, I have 1 success. It's not great.
So you manage to jump up and pull yourself up from the strap door. And Janina, for you, it's not much of a problem. You have so much potence that you can do this easily. And you are back in the shed.
Okay.
And you are heading out.
Yes.
And you can climb over the fence. Bear, with your increased strength, it is easier now to pull yourself up. And you are able to move quicker, sprint more. And you are outside in the woods.
Okay.
Where will you be heading?
Towards the car.
Towards the car. You had very good rolls for survival previous session, Janina. So you don't need to roll again. You know the layout of this area and you know how to find your way back towards the car. And you're leading.
I'm leading Bear.
Bear, you're in the forest. You have no clue where to go.
I think
it all looks the same.
Yeah, and after the sheer stress of earlier, I think even if I had picked it up earlier, I don't think it would still be with me at this point.
No.
Okay, once we are in the forest and going towards the car, and we are safe enough far away, I'm just gonna ask, "Are you okay, Bear?"
It'll be better once we're safe.
We're almost there.
Once we're back at, I guess, at the hotel is safer.
Okay. It's just gonna be a moment until we're in the car, and then we're going to be back. It's all right. Are you hurt?
No.
Okay.
Are you?
Slightly, but it's better. It's fine.
We're never doing something like this again. You are never doing something like this again.
I know. I promised Daniel, and I promise you.
Good.
I'm just happy that you're safe. I worried you were dead. I could never live with that. I don't want to put you through this again.
Thank you.
Let's go. And I guess once I see the car, then I'm trying to sprint more faster. I hope the car's still there.
The car is still there. You don't quite see it from the distance because you are in the woods, but there is some light from the moonlight, and as there is more of a clearing as you're stepping closer towards the path where the car is parked, you see moonlight reflecting off the surfaces, steel of the car, and you see Lucian is standing there with Dominic, and they're talking very quietly. And then as you're approaching,
just left there and just left.
Yeah. I would have been so mad if you just left me after I didn't even want to bloody be there.
And he, like, Lucian looks towards you as you're approaching, clearly having been listening.
I wave at him.
And you emerge from among the trees, full perception and empathy if you're paying attention to him.
I am.
I think I am now that there's more people about.
Okay.
I need to be slightly more.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 6.
I have 1 success.
Did you count your penalties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I would definitely have more success, or at least I hope.
Well.
Does insightful apply here? Or hidden pain?
No.
It's still a pretty decent roll. Sorry, what was the difficulty? 6?
6.
Okay. In which case, after the 1, it's 5 successes.
So Janina, you just see a bit of surprise on his face as you return with Bea. Bea, you see this man, quite handsome man, dressed elegantly with embroidery of lilies on his jacket. And he looks surprised at first when he sees you. And then underneath it, you see certain relief and certain impatience that is ruling him right now, and focus that he's been holding on to for very, very long as he's beginning to relax. And you see some worry and some preparing himself for something. This sort of feeling it's beginning somewhere in there, and that is mixed with the relief that you also see when he sees you.
Okay. The preparation. Sorry, could you clarify? There was some sort of.
It's like his thoughts, like he's been very focused on the present moment, and now his thoughts are kind of moving to something else. He looks almost a bit, part of his mind is a bit distracted.
Okay.
And that is somewhat tied to the relief that he sees as you to return, but it's not just about that.
Okay.
It's still there very much as you're approaching, and the relief passes.
Okay.
And he says, "I'm glad to see you again, Miss Shivak, Miss Wozniak." And he gestures towards the car, and he jumps in the driver's seat.
Sorry, what's that, Dolores?
It was me. I was saying it to Lucian.
Do you say it to Lucian?
I guess I would.
He gives you a look, and then says, and he kind of just doesn't say anything, and he sits in the driver's seat, and you see Dominic is sitting in the passenger seat in the front, and he's looking to you as you get in the car, and then his eyes travel back to the woods in the vague direction of where Leokadia's mansion is. Bea, you see this another handsome man that you do not. Or actually, roll your perception and occult with difficulty 8 as you look to him.
Yeah, well, after the 1s, that's 1 success.
That's 1 success. So you see this handsome, lean, built, tall man that you do not recognize. And you look to him, and briefly you get a sense of certain familiarity. And with the familiarity, his features begin to twist and contort themselves and rot and deform. And then it passes.
Okay. I think at this point I'm too exhausted and relieved to be outside to like do anything extra. So I think I just get into the car silently. And once the car starts moving, I think that's when the shaking just intensifies.
So you're both in the back seat as Lucian starts driving back towards the center of Warsaw. And you pass the woods, you emerge from them. The road is uneven, covered with snow and bumpy. You can't drive very fast, but he is driving as fast as you think the car can go. There are a few moments when he almost loses the control over the car, but he keeps going at this speed, passing the fields, few other villas, some more woods, until you start seeing more of the several story tall structures of the city and get more into the city streets that are mostly empty. But But you are back in Warsaw, driving through first better preserved areas and then through the ruins.
I will probably look at Bea and Dominic most of the time as we are leaving. I just try to assess Bea's mental state.
Roll perception and empathy. Bea, are you trying to hide things?
I think I'm trying to, but I'm happy to take a higher difficulty because I think I'm struggling to.
Then roll your self-control and subterfuge with difficulty 8, given your descriptions of your state previously.
Yeah.
I have 1 success.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got more than that.
So you see that Bea is shaking, but you can't see much more than that. Like, there's clearly some distress there, but you can't read anything more, except that she wouldn't let you touch her and she is shaking.
Then I just look between outside Bea and Dominic. I keep Lucian fairly. He's driving, so I'm not like looking at him much.
Lucian is driving and he's focused on that. Dominic looks back to you a few times.
If I like catch his glance, and I just say, I'm glad we were able to save you.
He smiles. Thank you.
Are you hurt?
No, no, I'm not hurt.
Okay.
Well, perception and empathy again on Dominic, actually.
I rolled pretty well with my 4
6.
dice.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have 4 successes on my 4 dice.
That's better than he rolled. So you see that there's certain sadness in him. There's certain uncertainty. There's worry. There's beginnings of anxiety. And when he glances to Lucian, there's love there. And he's absolutely happy to see him. And there is some relief when he looks to you and gratitude. And when he says, thank you, he is happy you came for him and wanted to help him. But he is sad and worried.
Well, that's understandable. Who knows what he has been through. So I will, if I can, I will push my hand on his shoulder and just, you're safe now.
I hope so. He says, and you see that he's absolutely not convinced. And he glances to Lucian and he worries.
I mean, fair, he did get kidnapped straight out of the hotel.
That's true. Okay, I will probably just let us ride in silence for the rest of the ride, unless Dominic or Bea or Lucian says anything.
I don't think I'm listening to a word that's being said now that we're in the car. I'm just kind of curled into the corner, leaning against, looking out the window, but not really taking in any of the surroundings.
I feel like very guilty when I see Bea in this state, I just curled there. But most I'm happy that she's safe and that she made it out.
But at what cost?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
That's fine. I'm not telling.
And you're driving. And it is quiet in the car for most of the way. But as you are in the center of Warsaw, driving through the ruins of the city, the skeletons of buildings, the piles of rubble that used to be people's homes, shops. Lucian speaks. I'm going back to the hotel. We'll use a different entrance so that you can enter without problem. Shivek.
Okay, thank you.
And he keeps driving.
Again, I don't think I heard a word he said.
That's fair. He glances to Dominic, and when he does, there is a small smile on his face and certain satisfaction. But
I think if I
he's
glance,
driving.
well, if I see it, it makes me happy, and like it was worth it.
Lost Abelard. Again, Dominic. That's worth it.
Well, you know.
And you finally pull up in the parking lot near Hotel Bristol. You see lights in some of the windows of the hotel. It's almost entirely undamaged structure, rising amid buildings that did not survive the war quite so well. And you see, as you get out of the car, and Lucian starts leading you, not towards the main entrance, but towards one of the side entries. A figure in a long coat steps out from where he was standing somewhere outside the hotel and starts moving towards you. And you, Janina, recognize Antoni.
Okay.
And you, Bea, recognize him, and I'll let you describe what appears in your mind when you see this figure.
This warmth, a trust, and also a guilt now.
And he comes up to you. Full perception and empathy, both of you.
I feel like we're in trouble.
Did Daniel read me out?
To be fair, Daniel might not have intentionally let him know. He's not necessarily the most subtle boy. Okay. Sorry, what was the difficulty?
6.
I have 1 success.
5 successes.
5 successes. So Janina, you don't see much on his face, except the focus on all of you as he's coming towards you. His eyes not leaving seemingly every single one of you as he's approaching. Bea, you see that he's furious. He's relieved.
Yeah.
After underneath it, but he's like the relief in a way makes him even more angry.
That's fair.
As he comes up,
I can't look at him. I'm looking at the ground as he approaches. And
he approaches.
I think the shaking has just gotten to the point where I'm barely able to control it.
I probably look at Lucian most, and between Lucian and Antoni. Lucian is the main.
You see Bea shaking more.
It's okay, Bea.
Bea, you would see as you're shaking, kind of looking to the ground, and he comes closer. You notice some concern as he's coming up, and he almost softens, but then he looks back to the sheriff, and the anger is back. And he says, and to you, Janina, he looks completely calm and composed. He says, Lucian, I am very glad to see you well. And Lucian kind of straightens. And he just waits. Doesn't respond. To which Antoni continue. The prince is waiting for you.
Oh.
He turns to Dominic. You can go to, well, wherever you want inside. The 3 of you are coming with me.
Okay. I will follow Antoni.
And he leads you. He kind of takes a look at you, and it looks like he wanted to go to the main entrance, but then he takes a look at you and he changes direction, and he goes to one of the side entrances and leads you inside. Dominic turns to Lucian and holds his hands and wants to say something. And Lucian just says, I'll be all right, my love. And he takes out keys and puts them in Dominic's hands. Wait for me in our room. I'll be there shortly. And Dominic looks worried.
I love the optimism.
No perception and empathy on the sheriff.
Actually, I don't think I'm looking at
Whoever cares to.
I care.
I'm too busy looking at the floor and feeling guilty.
What is the difficulty? 6?
Difficulty 6.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
You have 3 successes. Oh wow, you rolled really poorly.
Yay.
So you see that he's concerned and he's tense, but there's absolutely no regret in anything in him.
I understand his feelings. So
I
relate.
And Dominic walks away, and Antoni leads you up the stairs. There, you do see him glancing back towards you, and his eyes look more soft.
I don't think I actually see it because I'm so
You
focused
don't.
on the floor.
Then you don't see it, but Janina, you do see Antoni look back towards Bea a few times, but you can't read his expression.
That's fine.
And he leads you towards a room. And he knocks on the door. You are now in the part where various of the Camarilla kindred have their offices, but it's not the room. Well, Bea might have been in that area, but Janina, you don't quite recognize this room. This is not where you spoke to the prince before. And the voice tells him to enter. And Antoni opens the door. And he just says, the sheriff, Miss Wozniak and Miss Shivak are here. Abelard is missing. And you hear the voice of Katarzyna Chodkiewicz, the Prince of Warsaw. Let them in.
Upon hearing that, I will attempt to compose myself.
Roll your self-control and etiquette. Do you
Well,
think you still deserve higher difficulty?
Yeah.
Have difficulty aid them.
Janina just thinks in her head, why are they in trouble? Like,
so you're confused. You don't.
I understand why. Like, Lucian is in trouble, but why I am in trouble? It's my right. I did it on my own, and I'm like, what is it to Prince if I die? Like,
4 successes.
4 successes. So you manage back to compose yourself as you enter the room. And Janina, you enter thinking, like, what does anyone want anything from you?
I feel like I'm more annoyed. Like,
are you trying to not show it, or are you walking in with this anger on your face?
I will try to like subtly, like, soften it up because I don't want to give the
start a fight.
Okay, well, roll your self-control and subterfuge.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Okay. Yes.
But remember your penalties.
Yeah. I'm at -2. It's not as bad. Okay, I rolled pretty well. I have 2 7s and 2 10s.
So that's 4 successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both equally composed.
You are composed. You compose yourself looking calm. And you enter the room. And you see, it's a small room, a study. There's a desk there. There are, oh my, there are shelves with some books in the room. And in the 2 armchairs you see sitting the prince, wearing a gray suit with a string of pearls around her neck, her hair, as always, elaborately pinned up. And in the other is Zygmunt in a checkered suit, sitting, relaxed, but his eyes fall immediately to you, Janina, and stay there.
Dad's mad.
As you enter.
I think once I see Zygmunt, like, there is a bit more like tension in me, because I understand why he would care.
The prince stands up and takes a step closer. You see that Antoni stays outside, and he closes the door. Katarzyna looks at the three of you with her piercing, intense blue eyes, considering every one of you for a moment. And then she speaks. Sheriff, Miss Woźniak, Miss Siwek, I heard very curious tales about your exploits. Tell me, what Camarilla business were you attending to when you disappeared tonight? I presume it was of utmost importance, since you didn't even have the time to inform me.
In my head, I think, but I don't have to report to her.
I look to Lucian because honestly, this is his damn plan. He can deal.
I think my eyes also like look at Lucian.
Lucian does step forward.
Yeah.
Like you were. And he is tense, but he is confident.
I'm just ready to back everything he says,
and he says, respectfully. But you, Janina, you had a good role. You see, there's no regret. There is respect there, and he's worried, and he is very tense, but he's not regretting what he's done. My prince, I made a decision to rescue my beloved. I knew I would not get your permission, so I sought help from those who shared my goal. Katarzyna looks to him, locks eyes with him, and just says, I will deal with you later. Now be quiet and wait. And he steps away and tenses at that, at which she turns towards you, the two of you. Miss Woźniak, Miss Siwek, what did you think you were doing?
I was helping someone to rescue someone he cares about.
How charming. And you, Miss Woźniak? Sorry?
Sorry. I needed to keep Janina safe when I failed to convince her to not do this.
And did you know that this mission was unsanctioned by the Camarilla?
I think I pause at that because I can't remember. I think I get the feeling that I probably did, but I can't recall. And there's this sort of I don't know.
You don't know, Miss Woźniak?
Yes, I did know. And that is a lie because I don't remember at this point.
Let's see.
Is she asking also me? Oh, this was just for Bea.
Oh, it's for both of you.
Okay, in that case, I will say I wasn't doing it for Camarilla. I was doing it for Lucian.
But did you know, Miss Shivak, that
I do not
Camarilla
care.
would... You see Zygmunt.
I think I do like turn and look at her with a look of
He
absolute
looks
like
to you
horror.
and you see anger in his face. And he says, Janina, answer the question right now.
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
Did you know that it was an unsanctioned mission?
Yes.
And did Miss Wozniak know, since she doesn't seem to recall?
Do I know?
You
I'm
know
sorry,
that she knew.
Yeah. Okay. I say, no, she didn't know. She found out when it was too late. I'm trying to protect you.
Roll manipulation and subterfuge.
I'm spending my willpower because I want to like save Bea.
How much willpower do you
Okay,
have?
I can't spend willpower. Okay, nothing because
Are
I
you
have
at zero?
0.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I'm at 0. Okay, so in
Yeah.
that case, what do I have to roll? Sorry.
Manipulation and subterfuge.
Okay. All right, Michael Nechter. I'm sorry, Michael's being annoying. Manipulation, where is it? Oh my God. Okay, with my penalties, I have 2 dice. Nechter.
Well,
Okay. What was the difficulty?
difficulty was
Michael.
6.
Okay, in that case, I have 1 success. I have 1 8.
1-8.
Michael, ne. Sorry. He's being annoying. He's pulling out tea bags from the cups. Sorry.
The prince looks to you, and there is some irritation creeping up in her face.
I think at this point, out of the stress, I will spend the last point of willpower to remember.
You can do that, and you remember.
At which point I will step forward and bow to her very low and say, "My apologies, my prince. I did know. I have memory problems relating to my clan."
I think at this point I'm getting angry because I hate seeing Bea like being so pathetic in front of the prince. Like, I hate this. I hate that we have to like do this.
Roll your self-control and subterfuge again with difficulty 7.
Please don't punch the prince. I get that's the most brutal
I'm
thing.
sorry, but
Jesus Christ!
I have a botch.
But you don't frenzy. It wasn't the roll for that. But
Okay.
there is, you will see it, visible anger in Janina's face. And you see Zygmunt is watching her very closely.
At which point I will turn to her and I'm going to roll self-control to see whether I can touch her. Although I'll take a higher difficulty, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be 7.
Okay, I've got like 3 9s. I'm okay. Yeah. At which point I put a hand in her arm and just say, "It's okay. Calm down."
I will look at her and I will try to calm down because of her.
You try, but you are angry. There is still anger on your face.
Yeah, I'm just.
But you are a
annoyed.
bit calmer.
I'm just annoyed. Why are we in trouble? Like.
And you see Zygmunt has his eyes locked on yours, and he's just shaking his head.
And then I will turn back to the prince and once again sort of bow an apology.
And she just says, "I understand, Miss Wozniak."
Michael.
So, since you did know, how come it didn't occur to you to notify someone of what was going on, particularly you, Miss Wozniak, since you care to protect your clearly very emotional subordinate.
And I'm thinking back, and I genuinely, I almost don't know how to respond to her.
In contrast to Lady Leokadia, the prince doesn't give you much time.
That's fair.
She just says, Miss Wozniak, answer.
Are we converting to Sabbat?
Because I also wanted for our people to be safe. I wanted to get Dominic back. And I'm speaking the absolute truth here.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of just leaving him.
And yet it did not occur to you that losing possibly the four of you, including the sheriff, would highly endanger the safety of many more people here.
I will simply lower my head in a sort of submissive gesture.
You both have important duties that you were entrusted with. I know, Miss Wozniak, that you received a task from the Ventru Primogen. Have you made any progress?
I'm working on planning it.
And would you say what you did tonight took time away from your working on planning?
As she asks that question, it's kind of a little almost light bulb moment in my head as I connect a few dots. And my prince, I think that it will help me with what I learned and experienced tonight will help me with convincing.
Will it now, Miss Wozniak? Well,
Yes.
that is very lucky for you. I suggest you get to this task quickly.
Yes, my prince.
Miss Shivak, you are working on a project of great importance to your Primogen and to all of Warsaw Camarilla. I suggest you focus on that as well.
I simply say yes, but I don't bow. Or I don't think I even call her my prince. I just say yes.
You both have a Primogen vouching for you. Be careful not to disappoint your elders who gave you their trust. And
Yes.
next time, even though luck might have been on your side tonight, consider the good and safety of us all in your decision making.
Yes, my prince. And I genuinely mean it. And I'm frustrated at myself.
I say no.
You may go.
I will bow and then turn. And if I can, then I'm taking Janina by the arm.
Janina, what are you doing?
I'm leaving, but I'm not bowing. I maybe lock eyes with Zygmunt, but that's it.
Good perception and empathy on Zygmunt. Difficulty 7.
Okay, then I have 2 successes, 9 and 7.
Successes. You see that he doesn't actually hide that much. He is irritated with you.
Yeah,
And
well,
he is relieved. He is understanding on some level, and he is angry at the same time.
well, these are feelings I can understand, and I respect and care for him. But for Prince, I have no interest or respect. I just don't care about her at all.
And you leave.
I just don't consider her ruling over me. So, like,
and with those thoughts, not bowing, you step out.
Yeah.
Together with Bea.
I
Antonia
probably
is gone.
glance on Lucian before I leave.
Lucian is just standing there motionless.
Poor guy.
Kind of glances to you, but doesn't move.
Okay.
He looks to you as you're leaving and nods his head.
I nodded him.
And you leave. And you are in the corridor on your own.
I'm walking back towards the room that I share with Felicia.
I will follow Bea, and I'm sorry, Bea. You shouldn't have been into all of this.
No, we shouldn't have been. Daniel was right.
I would do it anyway. Like, I don't regret it.
Please, I'm not going to let that outburst once.
No, you're in the room now.
Okay, right. Okay, sorry. I thought we were doing this in the hallway.
Drama.
You can be in the room now. Yeah.
For the love of God, Janina, please. We lost Abelard. I can't lose you, and
you're not gonna lose me, okay?
I am at this rate.
Hey, we made it back, but I'm not gonna. It was our business, at least my business. I know you did it because of me, and I'm sorry for that. I shouldn't have even involved you in it. But I don't regret it, and I would do it again. Like, not again, but if I knew what was gonna happen, I would do it still. Because Dominic deserved to be saved. And I don't care it wasn't a Camarilla action. If it was Nastya and I asked someone, Daniel, I'm sure he would do it for me as well. Are you okay? You're gonna be all right.
I need some space.
Okay. And I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're safe. And I don't want to put you in danger again. All right, I love you. And with that, I just leave her alone in the room.
As you walk out, at least go find Daniel and let him know that you're safe.
I will. And I just close the door. And once I close the door, I just I feel bad for putting Bea into this. That's probably right now my only regret is taking her with us. Because she clearly can't do stuff like this. And then she was punished, and I just feel bad for involving her.
But you don't regret anything that you've done.
No. I'm still happy Dominic's back where he belongs. And I'm angry at the prince, who give her the right, she can't decide what people do with their personal time and for personal affairs. I'm just so angry. I'm not angry at Zygmunt. I get why he's angry, because I respect him, unlike the prince.
You can only tell me what to do if I respect you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, I might not listen.
You're such a bruja.
You are. So you're walking away in anger.
Yes. I will probably, for a moment, I will go to my room to clean myself a bit before I try to find Daniel.
You can absolutely do that. So you go to your room to start cleaning yourself, washing out some of the blood and alcohol and some dirt from your clothes. And you have some other clothes in this room, so you can change if you'd like.
Yeah, I will. Right at this rate, I will, because I don't want to go around in torn clothes smelling like vodka
and blood.
Yeah.
Also, you've changed your shirt in like the last 5 sessions again.
Yes,
I'm
Yeah.
that one is now ruined. And what do you do after that?
I will try to look for Daniel. I guess I will go into Elysium, but I'm not gonna like hang out there. If he's not there, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So you start to walk out to look for Daniel, and you actually run into him in the corridor as he's heading towards you.
Oh, and I see him, I just smile. A very tired like smile, but
he looks to you. He just stands there for a moment. I heard you were back.
Yeah, I told you I'm gonna be
Antoni
back.
told me.
Yeah.
That smile on your face makes me want to punch you, Janina.
Go in.
He kind of takes a look at you. I have a feeling you're in a bad shape enough already.
I'm fine.
The next time you're planning to do something like this, I'm going to knock you into torpor before I let you go.
I know.
I don't know what you've done to me to make me not do this. You or Bear, I don't know what you've done. I don't know how you messed with my head. I don't know how you convinced me.
Are you done? And I just like try to hug him.
He's very tense, but he will hug you back.
I'm glad I'm back, and Bear's back. I wanted to keep the promise I give you.
Then do it.
I will. But yeah, the prince, well, that bitch's annoying.
He kind of looks around.
Yeah,
let's go. And he kind of pulls you towards your room.
I didn't say it very out loud. Like it was meant like for his ears only.
He still pulls you towards your room. He doesn't say anything. And he kind of pushes you in. Do you fight it or do you just? So he pulls you in. He kind of. He almost like wants to pull the door open, but then lets you open it, and then pushes you inside and closes it behind him, and then looks to you. Annoying how?
Well, apparently someone, I guess not you, told her about what Lucian and us were doing, and we had to tell her. I don't know, like justify. I don't feel like I have to justify my personal things that I decide to do for personal reasons to her. Like I get why Lucian might, but
Janina, I know you don't like it, and I'm not the biggest fan. But that woman is an absolute ruler of us all. You saw what happened to that Moldavian.
Yeah, and I hate
you want this to happen to you or Bea?
No, I just hope that one
then
day.
Behave, control yourself. You don't have to love her, but what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I was just honest.
With the prince?
Yeah. Well, I'm not Bea. I'm not gonna bow and pretend that.
You see, his fists. He's in control, but he's shaking now with anger.
I will like hold his fists in my hands. Like it's her.
Janina, you need to learn to keep some things to yourself.
Yeah, but it's hard. She has a bitch face.
Oh my God, Janina, this is not funny. Look at me. This is not
You're
funny.
alone. Calm down.
No, your attitude about this isn't funny. This is dangerous.
Yeah, but I can't live like this. I can't hide who I am and just.
You have to. I can do it. Zoya can do it. Then you can do it as well.
Well, I can try, but I'm getting fed up. If it wasn't for Sabat, I swear I would not be here.
He, for a moment, looks even more angry.
Is our door gonna be messed up
No,
again?
he looks like he wants to say something, but then he kind of doesn't, and there's just, and he keeps it in.
Hey, it's fine. I'm safe. Dominic's back. We lost Abelard, but that was unfortunate. And Bea's mad at me.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure
fine.
it was unfortunate. I mean, I don't know the guy, but someone died. Could have been you. Could
Yeah.
have been Bear.
Yeah, I don't want it to be Bea. She deserves better. My only regret is to involving her. I shouldn't have.
Well, I guess that's the beginning. But Janina, it's not safe for you to be honest with the prince, or to be honest about your feelings about it. You can be honest with me, you can be honest with, I guess, our clan, but just trust me on this, it is not safe.
I know, but I was very angry, and I usually try more, but I'm exhausted, and I just feel it was unjustified from her to be so angry about something that had nothing to do with her.
Roll charisma and persuasion. Difficulty 8 to calm him down.
Okay. Oh, I have 3 successes, 2 8s and 1 9.
So he looks to you and he relaxes a bit. I understand. But right now, we need all of this to survive.
I know that, but it makes me angry, especially now when, like when I have to do some duties. It's fine, but this was a personal matter that had nothing to do with the Camarilla, and it makes me angry that she thinks she has the right to impose, I don't know, her
Janina,
Camarilla bullshit. But
the truth you have to understand, even though you don't like it, is that she does have the right. And if it involves Camarilla Sheriff, it concerns the Camarilla.
well, it
If you ran
him,
off on your own, maybe you're right, maybe no one would have cared. But that was something bigger.
Well, I hope Lucian is not going to get in too much trouble over it.
I don't have a clue. And he kind of just slumps, leaning against the wall now.
I sit next to him and just like put my head on his shoulder.
You're exhausting.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
Will you
trying
keep
to be
your
better.
promise?
I will. I will. No more stupid business. Well, unless it would involve you or Bea. I'm sorry, but I can not try to save you in case something happens to both of you or Nastya. But other than that, I promise. So it's up to you, all of you, to stay safe, and then I won't have to do stupid things.
I guess I'll take that. Right. It's getting late. I should get some rest, and you should as well.
Stay here with me.
All right, then.
Thanks. Bea needs space, and I don't want to be alone tonight.
All right.
Unless you want.
I'm okay to stay with you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back. And
you both got back, and
I didn't even have time to ask Bea what happened to her because we were separated for a moment. And I guess she's mad and not in a good mental state right now. So I have to wait. I mean, doesn't seem to be hurt, but who knows what happened.
I'm just glad you're both back.
Me too. And I just pull my head on his shoulder and just hug him and just relax.
And he relaxes a little bit and lets you, and like leans against you as well. Meanwhile, Bea, you're left. You're muted. You're left in your and Felicia's room. Janina walked towards her room.
I followed Janina to the door, and once the door was closed, I kind of turned around with my back to the door, just slumped to the ground, and just start crying, to be honest. And the shaking just comes back at full force, and eventually I'm just kind of curled on the floor, like just trembling and crying. And I'm so angry at myself for going along with this, and I feel stupid for having done it. And my thoughts are kind of messy, and then I'm suddenly stressed that I'm going to forget what happened. So, like, with like really shaking legs, I sort of pull myself up and find the drawer where I left my journal in, and start like trying to write notes through bloody tears. The handwriting is pretty awful because I can barely see what I'm writing. And I think eventually once I've written as much as I can recall, I just leave it next to me and just on the floor leaning against the dresser, the bedside table that I was on. I'm just kind of curled up there. And yeah, I think I just go to pieces.
So you're crying, angry and exhausted.
I'm guilty.
On the floor and guilty. Will you just stay like that until dawn? It's no long.
Yeah.
And eventually, you fall asleep with bloody tears around you and dripping down your face, staining the paper you're writing on and staining your face and clothes. And Janina, you're sitting with Daniel. He doesn't really make a move towards the bed. He's just happy to sleep right there on the floor, sitting.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And what's running through your head as you are drifting off to sleep?
I think
with Daniel, who just was very angry with you, seeing Bea the state she was in,
I guess
and
guilt.
being annoyed by the prince as well.
I think I have a lot of guilt because of Bea. I feel really bad for making her do this and letting her tag along. And because I know how much she values duty, and I made her, like, I don't know. At the same time, I hate it. I hate the fact that she tries to be so polite with the prince and be so. It makes me angry because I think it's pathetic, but at the same time, I feel so bad because I know it's part of her and the way she is. And I feel bad that I put her at the spot where she was punished for something that she even didn't want to do. And now she's mad at me, and I can't be even there with her to comfort her. So a lot of guilt, a lot of also, I feel sad for losing Abelard because I guess in my mind he redeemed himself for what he's done because he did lost his life trying to save his child. So I guess he wasn't as bad of a man as Mara thought. So I just hope he's at peace now. And I, of course, love Daniel. And I understand him, but I really want to try. I mean, like, my promise that I gave him, that stands. As long as not Bea, Daniel, or Nastya are in danger, I will not do stupid things. Because they are the people I care about the most. And I'm also, like, understand Zygmunt, and I know he's mad at me, and that I will probably have to go see him and talk with him about it. I know that with him I can be honest. So it's more like there is a slight like disappointment. I know that I disappointed him and that he's angry, and that makes me feel bad a bit. But there's like part of me that I know I will talk about it with him and that he will understand my point of view. Even though he might not agree, I'm sure we will patch things up.
And you fall asleep thinking about your Primogen, people you're close to, and the guilt about how Bea is feeling.
My poor Bea.
And you both drift off into sleep as the sun rises over the city. Thank you very much.
It was amazing.
Hope you enjoyed
We survived.
it. You survived,
But
yes.
at what cost?
Yeah.
That is, well, we'll see what the cost exactly will be, right? So, thank you for playing. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. We are so happy to have you here to witness this story with us and see how it unfolds. We really hope you enjoyed this. And we hope to see you again here on the Lamias channel. We will be taking slightly longer break so that me and partners can have a bit of a holiday. And we will be back on the 9th of May at the same time, 6:30 p.m. British Summer Time here on the Lamias channel. We hope to see you here again to see what will happen the following night when Bea and Janina awaken after their dangerous escapade. And have a very good night or a good rest of the day wherever you are. And we really appreciate you and hope to see you again here.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.